What's up everyone, how are you all? Today we are back with another blazing Naruto story. What if Naruto tries to summons without contract? If you enjoy then please like, share and do comments. And also check the description to original creator of this beautiful creation. Naruto is still the village idiot. The only difference is that he learned more than the shadow clone jutsu from the scroll of seals. If Naruto wasn't an idiot, none of the techniques he had learned would be deadly. If used by anyone else he'd be almost unstoppable, but it's Naruto. Oh, and I already have the story planned out. It will be huge in length, and since it's planned out, if you want to know a few spoilers, that won't exactly ruin it for you, because it won't tell you how it'll happen, then feel free to message me, edit. It's been years since this has been uploaded, so while I still have this planned in my head, I'm most likely gonna change the future I originally had. And why for the love of God did I think that giving spoilers was good? This is also my first FIC. Disclaimer. I do not own Naruto, or anything Naruto related. It was another peaceful day in Konohagakure. Well, it was. That of course was before people found out Naruto painted the Hokage monument. Naruto! Came the shout from behind him. Naruto darted away. He saw that his academy sensei, Iruka Amino, was chasing right behind him. He ran through the village that he had memorized like the back of his hand, trying his best to avoid his sensei. He just couldn't understand why he could flee every other ninja in the village except Iruka. AWH, why is it you're always the one to catch me? Huh? Why is that Iruka-sensei? He said after he eventually got caught up with. Naruto, that's not the point. Now would you like to tell me? He stopped, then his whole calm figure changed and yelled, "Why you're not in the academy right now?" Right? About that. After saying that he was gone, running in the wrong direction. Academy. Iruka walked back to the academy, and when he got there he found Naruto in his seat. How is he here? He ran the opposite way, and if he went back the right way I would have saw him, Iruka thought, amazed, but decided that was a thought for another time. Sorry I'm late to class. Iruka apologized. There was another Naruto incident. That baka. Sakura shouted out. Naruto got a lot of looks of disgust from his classmates. For now I'm giving you all 30 minutes training time for tomorrow's graduation exam. Iruka then looked at Naruto. Naruto, can you stay back for a few minutes? I need to talk to you. Naruto gulps, not knowing what is going to happen. Everyone then left the class, leaving Naruto alone in the class with Iruka, who was probably going to scold him. Iruka decided to start. So Naruto, you got no proof it was me that painted the monument? Naruto interrupted. Iruka gave Naruto a kind smile, then continued to say what he had to say. Naruto, this isn't about that. But after class today, me and you are gonna visit Hokage-sama, about a few things. Confused Naruto asks, then what are we here for? Well, I'd just like to ask how it is you are capable of hiding from Enbu in bright clothes, and also how are you able to outrun them? Naruto tries to think of a way to say it. Well. When you have mobs of villagers and ninja trying to catch you for as long as you can remember, you learn to be fast. Iruka felt bad for the kid in front of him, whom he used to hate and blame for his parents' death. If he is anything near the demon fox, he'd have taken action to all the shit he's taken. He truly believes that if anyone takes any time to actually get to know Naruto, they'd see he's a pure soul. Naruto, what I came to talk to you about is your stealth and speed. He pauses, which is better than the average jonin. Naruto, shocked, asks, you? How is it possible for someone that's not even a genin be better than a jonin at something? That's the ninja world for you, Iruka replied with a smirk. Well Naruto, after class, me and you are going to have a meeting with Hokage-sama. Iruka waved Naruto off to go and join his class, and found himself in deep thought, wondering about the wonders Naruto could do if he were to actually harness these skills. At the Hokage office. Naruto, Iruka, I've been expecting you too, came a voice behind a chair. Greetings Hokage-sama, Iruka said. Hey old man, that chair will be mine sooner than I thought after what Iruka-sensei told me. Naruto, that's no way to greet Hokage-sama. But Iruka, it's fine. Yes Hokage-sama, Iruka said with a bow. So Iruka, what brings you here? Asked the Hokage. Well Hokage-sama, Naruto has speed and stealth skills higher than the average jonin. While under normal circumstances Iruka would give out a detailed report, he knew the Hokage loved Naruto like a grandson and wouldn't want a report and would just like to hear it how it is. Is that so? Iruka nods. Fine, then we'll test him right away. So long as that's fine with you, Naruto. Naruto's eyes widened. A test I can actually pass? He replied happily. Then he remembered he couldn't even pass the genin test, so even if he did good on this test, he still couldn't become a genin, so he frowned then said, but it won't even matter. It won't help me get the stupid clone jutsu, so I can't pass the genin test. Naruto didn't understand why he couldn't learn the clone jutsu. It was meant to be the easiest of the 3 jutsu they test you on. He got the Kawarimi and transformation jutsu down, and they were meant to be harder. Hiruzen Sarutobi, the 3rd Hokage, saw where Naruto was struggling, and why he was, so he decided he'd do something he shouldn't do. Teach Naruto the Shadow Clone Jutsu. While normally this would kill someone Naruto's age due to chakra exhaustion, Naruto was a special case, and it was due to that special case that he couldn't perform a simple clone jutsu. Naruto, I am going to do you a favor, I'm gonna teach you the Shadow Clone Jutsu. Iruka cut off the Hokage before he could continue, because he knows that very few people can use the Shadow Clone because of how much chakra it takes. With all due respect, Hokage-sama, but Naruto can't even do the clone jutsu, so how do you expect him to learn the Shadow Clone Jutsu, a jutsu that most jonin can't do more than one of? Hiruzen smiled at Iruka. He was one of the only people that cared about Naruto. He was glad he could trust Iruka with Naruto. Iruka, I appreciate your concern, but the reason why Naruto can't perform the clone jutsu because his reserves are larger than mine, and his control sucks. Iruka was shocked. He said, stuttering, lar, g or th, than yours? Yes, Iruka, the Hokage confirmed. Iruka, back standing tall in front of his Hokage, then asked, but if his reserves are so large, why can't he do the clone jutsu? That's likely because he was born with those reserves, which explains his horrible control. Hey, I'm right here, Naruto interjected, not paying attention to most of what was going on, but he heard the horrible control part. Yes, Naruto, I know, I wouldn't have said it that way if you weren't, Hokage responded. Naruto looked confused and the Hokage saw that, so he said, you see Naruto, I'm telling you this so you can improve your control. He then explained a little more about what he was saying to Naruto, and when Naruto finally understood, he got back on topic. Ah yes, Naruto, I'll give you a scroll to get the shadow clone technique down, then when you graduate the academy I'll tell you its secret, which will help you with ninjutsu and chakra control. Naruto took the scroll, then left after saying his goodbyes, and he was very happy for once about the genin exams because he had a chance to pass for the first time. Next day, graduation exam. Naruto walked into the academy happy. His classmates didn't understand his smile, because they knew he was going to fail, so his classmate Shikamaru decided to go up to him. Why are you so happy, Naruto? You do know today is the graduation exam, right? Yeah, I know, Shika, but I just got the shadow clone jutsu down, and when I first tried it I got well over 200 made. Shikamaru just froze out of shock, because he knew Naruto wouldn't lie to him, and he knew what the shadow clone jutsu was. Hey Shika, you there? 200? Still shocked, he asked. Yeah, Naruto smiled. Back to his senses, he asked, how? My dad can only perform 1, and then can only do 2 to 4 B-rank jutsu afterwards. I changed C rank to B rank cause 2 to 4 Cs doesn't seem right. I have bigger reserves than almost everyone in this village, if not all, Naruto said, remembering last night. Shikamaru couldn't believe what he was hearing, so he just went back to his seat to sleep and hoped this was just a dream. Iruka 5 minutes later started class and called people up to do their jutsu test. Uzumaki, Naruto. He called last, I want you to perform the transformation, then the substitution, and lastly the clone, or in your case the shadow clone. Some people in the class that were in clans got shocked at the last remark, and some were asking, how can the Dobi be able to do the shadow clone jutsu? And then there was Sasuke who was shocked, but all he said was, HNN. Kiba, being arrogant, asked, why does the Dobi get to use a Jonin-only technique, while we have to make a regular clone? Before Iruka could answer, Sakura shouted out, if Naruto Baka can do it, then Sasuke-kun can easily do it. Then came shouts of, yeah, from Sasuke's fangirls. Iruka then cut in and said, well, most of you could die from making 1 shadow clone, because of small chakra reserves. But Naruto has a larger reserve than Hokage-sama, and actually anyone in this village. He actually has a larger reserve than everyone in this class combined, including Mizuki-sensei and me. No one interrupted anymore, but there was a lot of murmurs about it being a lie, and Naruto decided to start. He performed the first two without a problem, then it came time for the shadow clone. Okay Naruto, perform as many clones as you can with doing at least 3 to pass. Naruto with a smirk did the seals then said, multiple shadow clone jutsu, and over 4,000 shadow clones came into existence. Iruka was so shocked he almost fainted and then asked, Naruto, how can you do so many? Hokage-sama in his prime could only make about 100, and now can only make 75 inches. Scratching the back of his head he said, well, you told me to make as many as I could, so I used almost all my chakra, and this is how many came about. Well, congratulations Naruto, you are now a genin of Konoha. He then smiles at Naruto then says, now everyone that passed, report back here tomorrow for the team arrangements. Oh, and Naruto, Hokage-sama requested I escort you to his office for the shadow clone jutsu secret. Mizuki then appeared out of nowhere and said, let me take Naruto to the Hokage's office, it'll help me get to know a fellow Leaf comrade more. Very well, Iruka agreed because he wanted Mizuki to see Naruto for Naruto, and not the prisoner inside him. On the walk to the Hokage's office, Mizuki stopped Naruto and said, Naruto, there's a special mission which will let you become a Chunin right after. Interested Naruto asked, what is it? Huh, Mizuki-sensei? What is it? Calm down Naruto, you have to get the scroll of seals and meet me at this place, Mizuki said, pointing to a place on a map. Naruto didn't know what the scroll of seals was, or where to get it. He voiced this to Mizuki, who spent a few minutes explaining where it was, but making Naruto believe it's nothing special. Will do. They then continued to the Hokage's office where they eventually got to. Naruto got to the office and found out the shadow clone secret, and could see how it would help him. Hokage-sama, came the voice of Mizuki. Naruto has stolen the scroll of sealing. We need to kill him before he can become a trouble to the village. Is that so? The Hokage asked, and when Mizuki nodded he said, fine, call all the Jonin and Chunin you can and tell them to come here, and the ones that won't make my announcement, tell them I want Naruto captured alive and brought back to me. Yes Hokage-sama, Mizuki said, then disappeared in a body flicker. With Naruto, so if I could just retrieve this scroll and get it here I become Chunin, will I become Jonin if I get a few down? Naruto asked himself in thought. Naruto created 10 shadow clones and told them each to learn one jutsu from the scroll. The real Naruto came across a jutsu named Rasengan, which interested him, not because it was a ranked, but because it explained what it did, but now how to do it, and also because it was created by the 4th Hokage, his idol. He didn't let it bother him that he couldn't learn it, and decided to ask the old man about it later. After 2 hours Naruto memorized 6 B-rank jutsu, 3 A-rank jutsu, and even 1 S-rank jutsu. That's when Iruka came and yelled, Naruto. Naruto with a smirk on his face asked, so am I Chunin now? Huh? What do you mean? Who told you that? Iruka asked confused. Mizuki-sensei. He told me if I could retrieve this scroll and bring it here I automatically become Chunin. Iruka was shocked at that and said, that's not true Naru. He got cut off when kunai came rushing at them. He then pushed Naruto out of the way and took the kunai to his back. Iruka, why are you protecting that demon? He stole the scroll of seals, came Mizuki. Don't make me laugh, you set Naruto up. Iruka claimed in pain, realizing the situation. So what? After I kill him I'll become a hero in this village, and you should help me. He did kill your parents after all. Mizuki was sure Iruka would join him. He didn't, it was the 9-tailed fox, Iruka said, defending Naruto. Hey Naruto, do you know why everyone in this village hate you? Mizuki asked, seeing his chance to enrage the pest. No Mizuki, don't, it's against Konoha law, Iruka shouted. The village hates you because you are the… Mizuki got cut off by Iruka shouting no. It's because you are the 9-tailed demon fox. Naruto froze in shock, then heard Iruka shout, Naruto run, and no matter what don't stop. Naruto then started running. After the chase, Naruto is behind a tree when he hears Iruka and Mizuki talking. Why are you helping the demon? Mizuki asked. I thought you hated that damn demon. Yeah I do. Naruto started tearing and thought to himself, so it's true. Even Iruka-sensei sees me as a demon. But Naruto is no demon, Iruka continued. Fine then, I was going to deal with you later, but I guess that changed, Mizuki said, then threw kunai at Iruka. but Naruto deflected them. "If you ever touch my sensei again," Naruto said in anger, "I'll kill you," creating 1,000 shadow clones with killing intent much larger than either Iruka or Mizuka had ever felt. Naruto?" Iruka asked in shock. Naruto then beat Mizuki to a pulp, ignoring his screams. "Sorry about that, Iruka-sensei," Naruto said, scratching the back of his head. "Naruto, that's fine, but I must take you to the Hokage to explain all that happened and to return the scroll of seals." "Okay," Naruto said with a smile. "I needed to talk to the old man about something anyways." At the Hokage's office, Iruka explained all that happened, and then the Hokage dismissed him, saying that he needed to talk to Naruto alone. "So Naruto," the Hokage said kindly, "how many jutsu did you learn from the scroll? And what were they named and ranked?" Naruto decided to answer honestly, 10 in total, and let's see, 6B ranked. Fire style. Fire vortex, wind style. Air cutters, wind style. Breeze hold, water style. Vortex water dragon, wind style. Wind blades, lightning style, lightning demon. 3A ranked. Shadow shuriken, shadow kunai, shadow clone explosion, and an S ranked, into the shadows. The Hokage nearly fainted at learning a 12-year-old learned an S-ranked jutsu in 2 hours, even if this 12-year-old was Naruto. It amazed him more that it was into the shadows, in which only one person was able to learn, and that person couldn't even master it. After recovering from the shock, then said, "Well Naruto, I have some good news for you. This will be put as a B-ranked mission on your info card, and you will receive a B-ranked pay of 15,000 RO for catching a traitor." Naruto got shocked for a few moments, thinking of what he could do with that kind of money, then decided to talk. "Thank you, old man, so much." He then remembered what he saw on the scroll. I have a question." "Ask away, Naruto-kun." There's one jutsu called the Rasengan on the scroll of seals, but it doesn't tell you how to use it, and I'd like to know how, because it was invented by the 4th Hokage." The Hokage was shocked by the question, then answered, "I'll have someone teach it to you when I feel you are ready. If there's nothing else of importance, let me tell you who you'll be teamed with. It'll be Uchiha Sasuke and Haruno Sakura, led by Hitaki Kakashi. For what you did today, I'm giving you 2 presents. The first is this bingo book, which I want you to memorize with shadow clones, and these chakra weights that I want you to start wearing after you ask Kakashi how they work." Hokage said, "Now go home and sleep, you have a big day tomorrow." Team 7 passed their True Genin test, and Kakashi taught Naruto how to use the chakra weights. It has been 2 weeks since Team 7 started doing team building exercises and D-ranked missions, and Naruto was tired of them, and wanted a real mission, so today he'd ask the Hokage. Right now they are there to get a new mission. "Hey old man, can you give us a higher ranked mission?" Nato asked nicely without a shout, which surprised Kakashi, because Naruto was a big mouth, and he expected Naruto to shout at the top of his lungs for a better mission. "You see, I want to try my new jutsu somewhere. I'm ready, and Sasuke Teme over there may be emo, but he's ready, and lastly Sakura-chan may not be ready, but she will learn from this, and if anything happens, we gave Kakashi-sensei, who is an A- ranked ninja, and one who has copied over 1,000 jutsu." The reasoning shocked Kakashi even more, it even shocked his teammates. But what Kakashi wanted to know is how Naruto knew parts of his bingo book entry. You had to be at least Jonin, or on a mission that it'd come in handy as a Chunin to get one. "Very well, but it is up to your Jonin sensei to tell you if it's okay or not." The Hokage then looked at Kakashi. "So do you think they are ready for a C-rank mission?" "I'll actually leave it up to the team to decide. If the Dobi thinks he's ready, I know it," Sasuke said arrogantly. "Yeah, what he said?" Sakura said, giggling like a fangirl. "I guess that's a yes, Hokage-sama. Okay, I have a C rank ready right here. It'll be an escort mission to the Land of Waves." After he said that, a drunken old man walked into the room. "And here's your client. I asked for top-class protection, not some brats," the drunk said. "I can assure you my team is capable, and if anything happens, I'm an elite Jonin," Kakashi assured the man with a smile. "We'll meet at the gates in an hour." "Okay, see you in 3 hours, sensei," Naruto said like a smart ass. Kakashi ignored it and left. At the gate, Naruto arrived after 2 hours. "You're late," yelled Sakura. "I don't see Kakashi-sensei, so that means I'm not late." "Look, the client is just arriving anyways," Naruto replied. "Turns out you were right, brat," the client said. See Tazuna, I told you, Naruto said, revealing the drunk's name. 20 minutes later Kakashi arrived. You're late, Sakura yelled, and at that Naruto laughed at Sakura, claiming Kakashi was actually early. Confused Sakura asked, what do you mean? Well, Kakashi-sensei is late to everything that isn't an A-rank or S-rank mission, 3 hours late. Today he is only 2 hours 20 minutes late, and it's only a C-rank mission. Tazuna, Sakura, Kakashi, and even Sasuke looked at him like they were looking at someone different, so Naruto decided to say, when the Hokage told me why shadow clones are special, I decided to do research on Konoha's elite Jonin, and all are ranked or higher ninja in the bingo book. Naruto, I'm not saying you stole that bingo book, but only Jonin and Anbu have access to it, and some Chunin who go on mission that can go wrong, and even then only the team captain gets one. Well, Gigi gave it to me as a present. Very well. Your knowledge of the bingo book will help you later on. Well, let's get going. A 5-minute walk after leaving gates, Kakashi and somehow Naruto spotted 2 odd puddles, but both decided to ignore them. Then 2 ninja came out and killed Kakashi. That's when Naruto decided to use his jutsu. Into the shadows. Shadow Shuriken. Shadow Kunai. Wind Style. Wind Blades. Naruto shouted out in that order, and one of the 2 was found dead, and the other unconscious. Good job Naruto, we'll talk later, but I need to talk to Tazuna. Everyone other than Naruto looked shocked that Kakashi was still alive, and Sasuke just looked angry cause the Dobi knew 4 jutsu he didn't. Kakashi found out what was happening and that this mission was already B-ranked and might turn A-ranked. Then Kakashi went to Naruto, so Naruto mind explaining how you just used 1 B-ranked jutsu, 2 A-ranked jutsu, and an S-ranked jutsu that no one has been capable of doing since Shikatar Nara. I learned 10 jutsu from the Scroll of Seals, and yes, the Hokage knows, and those were 4 of the 10 inches, Naruto replied. I'm not even going to ask how you learned 10 jutsu in a few hours, but how did you learn into the shadows? Well, I just think of hiding and then think of how I do the Shadow Kunai, and Shadow Shuriken, Naruto said, getting a shocked Kakashi, because it's so simple yet so complicated. Naruto and Kakashi talked some more, then they reached Wave after traveling on a boat. Naruto felt a chill, as if something wrong was going to happen, and that's when he heard a rustle in the bushes, and threw a kunai at the bush and killed a rabbit. Look what you did to the poor thing, Baka, Sakura yelled. Kakashi was scanning what happened, then shouted, get down. Kakashi, the copycat, the person who has copied over 1,000 jutsu, came a murderous voice. Kakashi was beat to announcing who the guy was, by Naruto, Zabuza Momochi, Demon of the Mist, named that after killing his entire graduating class. Zabuza was amused, a little runt knew of him, so they actually teach you brought stuff in that leaf-hugging village. No, but if you read the bingo book you'll find stuff out, sort of like the fact that you're an A-ranked missing nin with a 1 million ryo bounty on your head. Naruto then continued, Kakashi-sensei, I'm taking my weights off and you need to use your Sharingan. Sasuke froze after hearing the word Sharingan. Zabuza laughed a little, short kid, I like you, too bad I had to kill you. Hell, you reminded me of some other blonde Konoha ninja, too bad I forgot his name. Kakashi then revealed his Sharingan, and Naruto took his weights off. How do you have a Sharingan? Demanded Sasuke. Only Uchiha deserved to have it, it doesn't belong to outsiders. It doesn't matter right now, just protect the builder. The mist became thicker and Zabuza was getting ready to do his silent killing technique, when Naruto shouted, into the shadows. Then said, Kakashi-sensei, I got his legs, he's on the water. Edit note. Goes back to mocking self, Naruto isn't gonna be op. Naruto proceeds to be op, I'ma fix this somehow. Kakashi ran to the water, and that's when he saw Zabuza's sword and he was shocked Zabuza actually killed him. I seriously liked that brat, it's a shame he. Zabuza stopped when he saw smoke. Water style. Vortex water dragon, Naruto said. Zabuza, I'm an idiot sometimes, but not dumb, I knew you'd escape the into the shadows, so I had a clone do it. I didn't actually think it would catch you though. Brat, you can't beat me with a water jutsu, especially when you make it that weak. Well, that was my weakest attack jutsu, now try this, wind style. Breeze hold, now Kakashi-sensei. Fire style. Multi-grand fireball. Zabuza didn't die from that, but a Senbon came and killed him. Thank you Ninja-san, I've been chasing Zabuza Momochi for a while, came a masked person. No problem Hunter Nin-san, Kakashi said. Well, I had to get rid of this body, farewell. The Hunter Nin said then left. At Tazuna's house, Kakashi didn't faint, because he didn't use too much chakra but he was still tired. Kakashi-sensei, I'd like to talk to you about a few things please, came the voice of Naruto. Sure, come in and close the door. First, aren't Hunter Nin supposed to dispose of the body right away? Yes Naruto, and I know what you're thinking, and Zabuza may very well be alive. I'd give him 3 to 4 weeks to recover, because of how beat he was. Naruto smiled at that. Good, I get a rematch. Naruto then continued. Second, can you help me figure out what my chakra affinity is? Naruto, that's Jonin level stuff, Kakashi said seriously, but sure, how about if you can get tree walking down in a week, I'll give you the chakra paper to find out. Okay, that works. Now lastly, do you by chance know who the blonde Zabuza referred to was? Kakashi flinched at that question, and tried to avoid the question, but Naruto noticed. Come on sensei, tell me. Well, all I can tell you is, he was my sensei, Kakashi said looking sad. Naruto had eyes wide open. I remind an A- rank missing nin of the 4th? I guess so. Time to train hard to surpass all the Hokages, Naruto said. Thanks Kakashi sensei. At the forest for the tree walking exercise. Sakura already got the tree walking exercise down, and Kakashi let her help Tazuna in town, and then Kakashi left. Of course he's an amazing sensei, not going with Sakura, but not staying with Naruto and Sasuke, leaving Naruto and Sasuke alone. Dobi, how do you know so many jutsu? Demanded Sasuke. Everyone has their secrets. Naruto paused then continued. Sasuke, how about we both help each other out? That way if I need help I can rely on you. Naruto got cut off before finishing. Yeah, and what can a dobi like you offer me? I was getting there, Naruto said a little annoyed. You will get my full support when it comes time for you to get your revenge. How can you help? I have more jutsu than you and I am faster than you. I can help, but Sasuke, we are no match combined with Kakashi for Itachi. He isn't S-ranked for no reason. Let us both train together and I can. No, I will help you. Fine, but add to the deal. Any fire jutsu you know you teach me? Sasuke demanded. I have a B rank 1 already. I'll teach it to you after we are done with getting this exercise down. Sasuke gave a small smirk at that then said, Hey Naruto. Yeah? Thanks. No problem. A week passed and both Naruto and Sasuke got the tree climbing exercise down, so Kakashi gathered his whole team. Okay team, I'm going to teach you all your elemental affinity. Thank you sensei, Naruto shouted. Okay, take a slip of this paper and channel chakra into it. After they all channeled chakra into the paper, Kakashi looked at the results. Sakura had a low affinity for earth. Sasuke had a high affinity for lightning and a very high second affinity for fire. Naruto had a very high affinity for wind and a second affinity for fire, which was higher than Sasuke's, which shocked Kakashi. Okay team, what I'm going to have you all do is Jonin level stuff, but I trust all of you to finish it. Kakashi then looked at Sakura. Sakura, I want you to take a leaf and make it crumble to dust. He then looked at Naruto and Sasuke. Both of you two boys will do your first affinity first, then when you are done I'll tell you how to do the second. So Sasuke, I want you to make a leaf crinkle, and Naruto, I want you to make a leaf split in half. All of this must be done with your chakra. He said the last part only after he saw Naruto about to rip his leaf in half with his hands. Sasuke, still want that jutsu I promised you? Naruto asked. Was his reply. Okay, fire style. Fire vortex, Naruto said, and a vortex of fire went to the lake behind the house. That's the jutsu, if you have trouble with it ask me for help. He gave Sasuke the instructions on how to do it, which hand seals are needed, and what to think about. Kakashi, who was watching from the sidelines, was impressed, because Sasuke was accepting help. Naruto, how do you know so many jutsu? Sasuke asked and didn't demand for once. Sasuke, I would tell you if I could, but it's a secret, Naruto said, then decided to help the Uchiha a little more. Sasuke, want to learn a Jonin-only technique? You mean the shadow clone? Sasuke received a nod from Naruto. Yeah, that'd be good, but first I'd like to know the most you can make. I'd say about 8,000, but then I can't fight, Naruto said, which even shocked Sasuke. My dad, who was the Uchiha clan leader, could only do 15 inches. Naruto was very surprised that Sasuke was talking about a family member, which is something he never has done before after the whole massacre, so he decided to ask, Sasuke, I won't mind a no for this, but do you think you can take me to your clan library, so I can maybe learn a wind jutsu or two? Sasuke smiled and said, sure, but only after I learn the shadow clone. Naruto smiled and showed Sasuke how to do it, and Sasuke got it after 2 tries and created 2 clones, then said while panting, wow, 2's my limit. Well then, a deal's a deal, I'll take you after this mission. After that was said, Kakashi appeared. Aren't you two supposed to be training with the leaf? Naruto was first to say something. Well, you never told us how, and Sakura isn't even here. Kakashi didn't want to tell them how, but with what Naruto said he now had to. Okay Naruto, for you I want you to think of a blade cutting the leaf. As for you Sasuke, I want you to think of the leaf being zapped. Sensei, I think you should let Sasuke rest for now, he has very little chakra left. Hell, it seems if he does a simple clone he'll fall down. Very well, start tomorrow. Sasuke, you can go back to the house. I want to talk to Naruto. After Sasuke left, Kakashi started talking again. Okay Naruto. I know the D ranks pay for your rent and basic food, but Naruto, I think I can help you with getting extra Ryo. I'm going to teach you how to use a storage seal, and you should collect any weapon or anything valuable you find and put them in these. You can then sell what you find or keep it for later use. Yes sensei. When it started to become dark, Kakashi told Naruto he should leave, but Naruto decided to wait around and stayed to try to learn to draw his own functional storage seals. It only took him 15 minutes with shadow clones to learn how to activate them, so he decided to use 10 and each started to attempt it. 2 hours after Kakashi left, Naruto finally figured it out. At Tazuna's house next morning, Team 7 all woke up and met for breakfast. Okay team, you're going to practice your elemental training again today. If anyone shows progress, report it to my shadow clone. I'll leave with you all. It'll tell you what you're doing right and what you're doing wrong. He then looks at Naruto and Sasuke. Sasuke, only use 1 clone to help, and when you feel drained dispel it and then take a break, then continue with no clone. Naruto, I want you to only make 25 clones, no more for this training, but because of your chakra you can replace them each time they dispel, and don't forget, try dispelling as little as possible at a time. Hi sensei. All 3 shouted in unison. I'll be watching over Tazuna. If my calculations are right, Zabuza will be up and ready in just 5 more days, so I'll let you all train for 3 more days. The 4th day you'll all have a break, and the 5th day we will all go to the bridge, and Naruto will leave 10 clones here, with 8 of them hiding and 2 around, just in case they target Tazuna's family. Okay, head out to train. At the same training place as yesterday. Once they got to the training place, Naruto created his 25 clones and Sasuke created his 1 clone, and then all 3 people on the team started trying to do their elemental training. After Naruto started, he created another 10 clones, and then Sakura shouted, Naruto, Baka-sensei said only to use 25. Sakura, he said 25 for this training. I'm sending these other 10 to the lake to learn water walking. But, Sakura, shut up, me and the Dobi are actually trying to train, something you should do as well, Sasuke said. Thanks Teme. 3 hours had passed and so far and Sakura had no progress, while Naruto had gotten a small rip, and Sasuke got a very tiny spot of the leaf to crinkle. Kakashi then appeared. Okay team, I think that's enough for now. Let's return back to Tazuna's, you can all continue tomorrow. Day of the bridge battle. Okay, if I'm right, Zabuza will attack today. Naruto, make the 10 clones, and have 8 hide, and only come out if one of the other 2 dispel. I got it, he said as he made 10 clones. You all know what to do. Okay, let's go. They all walked to the bridge with Tazuna, and 5 minutes after they go to the bridge, Naruto stopped and said, it's begun. Everyone stay on guard, the mist is getting thicker, Kakashi announced. Kakashi of the Sharingan, we meet again, and this time I will kill you, came the murderous voice of Zabuza Momochi. I see my suspicions that you were alive were true. Kakashi replied, okay team. Sakura, you guard Tazuna, Naruto and Sasuke take out Zabuza's helper. I'm not mentioning the Kakashi-Zabuza fight, it'll be like in canon, but the only difference is Zabuza dies. Both of you combined can't beat me, said the masked guy. You should feel lucky you get to fight the last Uchiha, Sasuke said. Teme, didn't we say no more last Uchiha shit? You two might be a challenge, demonic ice mirrors. You will die now. No one can break these mirrors, not even Zabuza-sama. Sasuke, try using your fire jutsu to bring those down, Naruto said. Fire style. Grand fireball. Sasuke yelled. Nothing, it doesn't come down. I already told you, you can't bring these mirrors down, the masked guy said again. Multi-shadow clone. Naruto said, and 50 shadow clones came about. The masked man then started throwing senbon at all the clones and all dispelled and a few hit the real Naruto and Sasuke. This cycle continued another 4 times, then Sasuke unlocked his Sharingan and saw where the masked guy was. He then used his grand fireball and the mask came off. Then the masked guy killed Sasuke. You killed him. Naruto started going berserk, then didn't know what he was doing. Inside Naruto's mindscape. So my jailer has finally come to see me, said a mysterious voice. Who are you? Asked Naruto. I am what's inside you, the Kyuubi no Yoko, the Kyuubi said with a lot of killer intent. What do you want? Me? I want freedom, Kyuubi said sarcastically. Okay, is there any way I can grant you freedom without dying? You're not serious, you would let me, Kyuubi no Yoko, the demon who destroys mountains with just its tail? I will, only if you don't kill those precious to me, and I don't die. Kid, you interest me, I'll do you a favor and let you sign the Fox contract, and you'll be the second to ever get it. How do I do that? And who was the first? A summoning contract appeared and the Kyuubi said, sign this with blood, and the first was a bastard I want you to kill. If you do that I'll be loyal to you only when summoned. He goes by the name Madara Uchiha. Another Uchiha? I thought Sasuke was the last, Naruto thought. Okay, I'll sign it and help you, so long as you don't kill my friends. You have a deal, young kid. Now sign this. Naruto signed it and then Kyuubi told him how to use the jutsu to summon foxes. Then Naruto returned to the real world. At the bridge, Naruto, can you hear me? Came the voice of Kakashi. I'm here, sensei. Then he remembered about Sasuke. Where's Sasuke? He's right there, Naruto, Kakashi said, pointing to the body of the young Uchiha. I'm sorry, Naruto. Naruto was going to lose it, but then he heard a cough from the Uchiha's body. He's alive. Dobi, where's that masked man? Naruto didn't know how to answer, so Kakashi answered for him. Naruto killed him. Dobi, you're becoming stronger. So it seems the demon of the mist failed. Well, I wasn't planning on paying him anyways. Thugs kill the remaining ninja. Kakashi sensei, let me try something. Summoning jutsu, Naruto said, and a fox appeared. Hello there. Do you think you can assist me in killing these thugs? Sure thing, master, and my name is Kitsuno. Okay, Kitsuno, after you help get rid of them I want to ask you a few questions, but I'll probably ask them later. Kitsuno used a fire jutsu which killed all the thugs and Gato. Naruto, I'm not going to ask now how you got summoning, but we need to leave, get a few shadow clones to collect the weapons. We'll leave tomorrow, after the bridge finally is up and working, Kakashi sensei said. Next day. Goodbye to Zuna and people of Wave. We'll be returning to Konoha now, Kakashi said. Don't leave, cried Inari. You have to stay. I'm sorry, Inari, we have to leave, Naruto said with a smile. I'll visit though. After that, Team 7 started walking towards Konoha. We still need to name the bridge, Tazuna said. How about the Great Naruto Bridge? A random person said. That is catchy, we'll call it the Great Naruto Bridge. Team 7 were walking about to go back to Konoha when Kakashi stopped them all, and turned to Naruto. I have a question, Naruto. Naruto looked at him. Where did you get a fox summoning contract? Naruto decided to be honest. I got it from the Kyuubi. How can you trust the Kyuubi? Foxes are loyal to their masters, and I am its master. Well, at least when I summon him, Naruto said, realizing he just told Kakashi Kyuubi isn't really loyal. The other 2 people of the team overheard some of what was being said. Then Sakura asked, what does Naruto have to do with the evil monster Kyuubi no Yoko? Just a warning. I might call Kyuubi no Yoko, or Kyuubi no Kitsune when people mention it by its full name. I can't tell you, only Naruto can. First, before asking him, know that it's an S-rank secret that if you speak about it with others you will be sentenced to death. Kakashi took a breath, then said, only 2 people are allowed to talk about it. Those are Naruto and Hokage-sama. Kakashi sensei, it's fine. If I can't trust my teammates, then who can I? Kakashi saw the maturity of his sensei Minato in those words. Sasuke, Sakura the Kyuubi is sealed inside of me. Sakura fainted, but Kakashi caught her before she fell to the ground, and Sasuke was just mouth open shocked at what he had just heard. If you guys hate me I understand, Naruto said when Sakura got up. Sakura terrified said, you are a monster, that's why you always did those pranks. Naruto frowned because his teammate didn't understand that he's not the fox. Sakura, Naruto isn't the fox. Kakashi said angrily that she thought of Naruto as the Kyuubi. I expected more from you. Naruto is the jailer, not the Kyuubi. Sakura still looked confused, so he decided to explain it further. Let's say this kunai is the fox. He took out a kunai. And this scroll is Naruto. He took out a sealing scroll. Let's say I sealed a kunai into the scroll. Is the scroll now the kunai? No. So is that why Naruto has so much chakra? Sasuke decided to give his input with that question. Yes, Kakashi said, then looked at Naruto. Are you okay? Yeah, Naruto responded. Kakashi-sensei, I'm going to summon Kitsuno before we enter Konoha. Kakashi nodded and okay, then Naruto said, summoning jutsu. Hello master, how may I help you? Kitsuno asked. Kakashi-sensei, I'd like to talk to Kitsuno alone for a second please. Kakashi left, and once Naruto was sure he was gone he asked, Kitsuno, do you know the Kyuubi? Confused Kitsuno asked, can you describe him? Yeah, he has 9 tails and is gigantic. Realizing who Naruto was talking about he said, yes of course I know who Kurama-sama is. Who's Kurama? Kurama is our boss, we haven't seen him in around 100 years, but we believe he is alive. Kid, I am Kurama, that's my name, tell Kitsuno I'm sealed in you, Kyuubi told Naruto. The Kyuubi, I mean, Kurama said he's sealed inside of me. Kitsuno's eyes widened in joy, so Kurama-sama is still alive. Okay, just a question, this is why I summoned you, I want to know if I can summon him? Yes, go ahead and try it, he'll be smaller because of the area, but he'll be all-powerful. Will he attack my village again, and will I die? No to the village, and I'm pretty sure you won't die, not completely sure there, because you'll summon Kurama-sama, but he'll still be connected to you. Thanks, well here goes nothing, summoning jutsu. Hello Kit, came the voice of a fox with 9 tails about Naruto's height when on all 4. Is that you Kyuubi? Naruto asked slightly scared. Yes, and don't worry Kit, I can't kill you or anyone you care about, all because of this damned contract. Okay that's good, Naruto said then shouted, Kakashi-sensei, bring the team here. What? Kakashi said when he came over, then he stood frozen when he saw a fox that looked like a mini Kyuubi. Everyone, meet the Kyuubi. Naruto smirked. Kakashi then had a talk with Naruto and the rest about not telling any of this to anyone, and for Naruto to not summon unless necessary. Naruto also found out from Kurama to add these names to the end after saying, summoning jutsu. So he can get certain summons. Den. For babies, probably useless, you never know, Ki. For foxes in training, Kit. For foxes that are still weak in training, but can fight, Q. For what's considered Chunin and Jonin in the ninja world, and lastly, Kur. For the masters, which Kurama himself is one of 4. Gate of Konoha. The Eternal Gate guards, Katetsu Hagane and Izumo Kamizuki, welcomed the team back. Afterwards a pair of Anbu appeared and said, you are summoned to a council meeting. The other said, don't be late Kakashi-senpai, and don't forget your team. When the 2 Anbu left Kakashi said, well better not let them wait. At the meeting, where is the team? One of the civilians asked. Patience, the Hokage responded. It's been 30 minutes since the Anbu returned, another said, then Kakashi entered, sorry for being late. We can now begin, the Hokage announced, and then went through the mission overview he got from Tazuna by messenger bird. When he finished reading it he asked, now who wants to state something or ask questions? We should jail the demon brat for endangering Sasuke-kun, one of the civilians announced. No, he should be executed for putting Sasuke in harm's way, another said. If Naruto ever gets jailed for saving me I'll kill who's responsible, Sasuke said angrily. But Sasuke-sama, he hurt you, and probably plans to kill you, that's what all demons do, kill. The same civilian said. Enough, if all you want to do is kill or jail or punish Naruto then the civilian council is dismissed. The Hokage said. But Hokage-sama, he must be killed before he kills us. Leave now. But, now, the civilian council left pissed. It seemed they were plotting something against Naruto, but the Hokage decided to let it be until it happened. So anyone left want to ask something? Yes, just how powerful is Naruto? Shikamaru's father asked. Stronger than a lot of Chunin, the Hokage replied. Then why isn't he a Chunin? I know Sasuke could be low Chunin, and if anything Sakura's reserves are low enough to have perfect control for medical jutsu, which if she learns will earn her a promotion to Chunin. It's because of lack of experience. But if the reports are correct, then Naruto assisted a lot in the fight with Zabuza Momochi, Demon of the Mist, Ino's dad said. Yes, the reports are correct. If it wasn't for Naruto, and little help from Sasuke I would be dead, Kakashi said. Okay, let's have a vote. All those in favor of promoting Naruto to Chunin? The Hokage asked, knowing there needs to be a 2/3 vote for it to be accepted. To the Hokage's surprise everyone except his advisors and Danzo said, aye. Very well, Naruto Uzumaki is Chunin by field promotion. Naruto, come to my office tomorrow at 9 a.m. to receive your vest. The Hokage said. Now all those in favor of promoting Sasuke to Chunin? Once again the Hokage was shocked, because Sasuke received exactly 2/3 of the council's vote, so he had to promote him. Very well, Sasuke Uchiha is Chunin by field promotion. Come to my office with Naruto tomorrow. Gigi, do you think I'm ready for Chunin? I want it, because it's a step closer to me becoming Hokage, but I don't deserve it. Son, you just proved you are Chunin material, Choji's dad said. It has been 3 days since Naruto and Sasuke got promoted, and they were given a 4-day off to celebrate their promotion. So naturally Sasuke was being antisocial, and just responding with his normal, HN, when someone talked to him. Team 7 met at their normal training ground, but knew Kakashi wouldn't be there today because he was on a mission. They arrived to the training ground at around noon, and they all agreed to stay there all day to get stronger. Okay, any suggestions on how we should train today? Naruto asked Sakura and Sasuke. Sakura, how about you come up with a schedule? Because you're the brains, then Sasuke can refine the schedule to fit us all. HN. Okay. Sakura said, how about we start off with chakra control, and do that till 1:30 p.m. Then we all go on a 30-minute break for lunch. Then at 2 we start learning to control out affinities until 5 because that will take the longest. Then from 5 to 6 we do physical training, then leave for the day. Sakura then looked at Sasuke and asked, is that a good plan, Sasuke-kun? Sasuke was actually thinking about that schedule, and after a few moments he came to the conclusion that it was a very well laid out schedule, but realized it could be adjusted a little. It's not a bad schedule, except how about me and the Dobi do chakra control from now till 2:15, and at 1:30 you start your affinity training until we are done. At 2:15 we go for a 30-minute lunch break, then after we come back at around 2:45 we do stretches and basic exercises, then at 3 we all do affinity training till 4:30, and then from 4:30 till 5 we do jutsu training. Finally from 5 to dark we do physical training by sparing each other. After the wave mission Sasuke had realized that he would need his team to help him take down his brother faster, because he realized he isn't strong enough yet, and neither is the whole team, but together they can cut the time for him to kill Itachi. Sasuke still thinks he can do stuff alone faster, but when the team wants him to train with them he joins in. Okay, let's all start. Sasuke, I know you can make one shadow clone while still being able to do stuff. So create one while we do this. After it dispels continue without clones. And so I'm not at a huge advantage, I'll only use 20 clones on chakra control, 10 affinity control, and 10 for jutsu. Naruto, can you create 2 clones right now to get us a scroll on chakra control from the library? Naruto frowned at being asked to go to the library where they just kick him out because of what he holds, and after Sasuke looked at him to see if he'd make the clones he knew why he didn't do anything. Dobi, you're a ninja now. You can't be denied access to ninja areas no matter how much someone hates you. Since you're only a genin like us, we can only get into areas that have C-ranked stuff without need of permission. Edit note. I'm pretty sure Naruto and Sasuke are Chunin now, but I'll leave that in there, and just let us all assume they just haven't gotten their vests yet. Sasuke usually ignores Naruto's problems unless it dealt with what he holds inside. If it was with the Kyuubi he'd tell him what to do, any other problem would be ignored. After Sasuke's words lightened Naruto up a bit, Naruto created the 2 required clones and had them performed into the shadows to get there at half the speed. Into the shadows speed depends on how many shadows there is. If none are available, it'll create one, but move slower. And after 20 minutes, the 2 Naruto clones returned with 2 scrolls, one for chakra control exercises they could perform, and him thinking ahead for once a scroll with a few D-ranked and C-ranked jutsu. Team 7 started training at 12:30 because they took 5 minutes to locate a lake or pond. The first chakra control exercise was water walking, which came after tree walking, which they've all mastered. Once they located a pond, Naruto stripped down to his boxers, because he had a feeling he was going to get wet. "Baka, put your clothes back on," Sakura shouted at Naruto. "Sakura-chan, we are trying to walk on water here. If we get it wrong we'll fall in and get wet, and I don't want my clothes to get wet." Sakura was amazed at the logic Naruto put forward, but still said, "Baka, it's not polite to just randomly strip down in front of a lady. Look at Sasuke-kun, he's still wearing his clothes and he's going to do the same exercise." Sakura turned to see Sasuke had just striped down to his boxers like Naruto did. Then she fainted with a bloody nose. 3 minutes later, Naruto and Sasuke finally got Sakura to awake. "Sakura, get up, we are wasting time, we have to get this exercise done with, to improve out control." Sakura didn't realize Sasuke was in his boxers when she got up. That was a nice dream. Sasuke-kun was wearing nothing but his boxers, she thought, then looked and noticed he was actually only wearing boxers. "Is this a dream?" she asked. Sasuke tried really hard to not face-palm himself. "Sakura, for once the Dobi is right. It's better to wear the least possible so not all our clothes gets wet. We aren't asking you to strip down, but it'd be for the best in case you fall in." Sasuke left Sakura after saying that and headed to the water, where Naruto currently was with clones. He went there after Sakura got up, falling in multiple times. Once Sasuke was at the water, Sakura started questioning if she'd feel okay in her bra and panties around her teammates. After wave, she decided it's time to take being a shinobi seriously, and if she couldn't show a little body around her teammates, how would she ever be a good kunoichi? I probably spelled it wrong. Someone correct me for later chapters, considering kunoichi are supposed to do missions where they are obligated to show their bodies. After minutes of thinking about this, she decided to strip down to her underwear, but she approached the water slowly with her head down, to not see how her teammates looked at her. "So it seems you actually want to be a good ninja," Sasuke said. Sakura looked up and noticed both Naruto and Sasuke were looking at her, but not at her body. This lifted some weight off her shoulder, so she did her first attempt at walking on the water, and she stood for about 15 seconds then fell in, and she was now glad she decided to leave her clothes on the ground. "Great job, Sakura-chan, on my first try I just fell in," Naruto said, trying to encourage Sakura. At 1:15 Sakura mastered water walking, and was tired, so she decided to take a break until 1:30, at which she would start affinity training. At the same time, Naruto and Sasuke both managed to be able to stand on the water, but neither could walk yet, and Sasuke's clone dispelled at 12:55. By 2:15 Naruto could walk a little then fall in the water, and Sasuke could walk, but not run. After one more attempt, both Sasuke and Naruto went to get Sakura from where she was behind the tree. They decided to get sushi today as a team lunch. "So Sakura-chan, how are you doing with your earth element?" Naruto asked on the way to the sushi place. Sakura gave a defeated sigh. "I'm not getting anywhere. I can make the stem crumble, but that's all." "Don't worry, you'll get it. I know you will." They arrived to the sushi place, and once they were about to enter, the man that came to greet them said, "I'm sorry, but you two may come in, but that thing is not allowed in here." Naruto frowned at this and was about to walk away when, "You will serve all of us, or none of us, and I'll tell everyone how bad this place is if you don't let my comrade in with us," Sasuke said. "But Uchiha-sama, you shouldn't associate with it. Sir, if you don't let us all in, we'll leave and find a different place to eat at." "Right this way, Uchiha-sama, but if it breaks something it'll pay." "That won't be a problem, and we won't have a problem so long as you don't wrong him, and that you stop calling him it. He may be a dobi, but he is human." The man was angry that Uchiha-sama would associate with the likings of that demon, but he let them get a table. The team sat down and ate, and when they finished, Konoha's top gossip came in, Ino Yamanka, and when she saw Team 7 she couldn't resist and say hi. "Hey forehead, hi Sasuke-kun." she said, then looked at Naruto and gave a quick, hi. So what are you guys do at this place? We were leaving Ino, Sakura said in a friendly manner. Before you guys leave, do you know if you are going to enter the Chunin exams? They start in 5 weeks. Damn it, Gigi, now I can't join them and show my skills. Naruto said. What's he upset about? Ino asked. Well, him and Sasuke got promoted 3 days ago, and I think Naruto wanted to show his skills. Sakura replied. How did Naruto Baka get promoted? I can understand Sasuke, but that Baka? Ino said. Wait, how did they get promoted when they haven't joined the Chunin exams? Sasuke has been acting like he was ignoring this all, but he was listening, and Naruto just wanted to see if Sakura would say anything nice about him. They both got a field promotion from our C-ranked mission Gone A, and you'd be surprised, Ino. Naruto actually deserved it. I'm the only genin left on Team 7 because I froze up a lot on the mission, but Naruto and Sasuke fought. Sasuke looked at Naruto and saw him brighten up, so before he caused a scene cause of this he said, Sakura, Naruto, we have 5 minutes left to get back to the training fields to continue with our schedule, we should hurry. Well, see you, Ino pig. Yep, later, forehead. At the training ground, so let's start stretching, Naruto said. Team 7 did their 15 minutes of stretching, and then all started to go back to elemental affinity training. Naruto created 10 clones and told them to start trying to cut the leaf, but he noticed that no matter what he tried he couldn't get past halfway cut. Sakura was also having trouble, still only able to crumble the stem for the leaf. For Sasuke he had improved, but not all that much. He went from getting a quarter of the leaf to crinkle, to half, but in his head he was saying, I should be able to get this done, I'm an Uchiha. At 4 Kakashi dropped by, how are my cute little genin? Kakashi-sensei, they all said in unison. Hey sensei, Naruto said. May I ask what you 3 are doing? Kakashi asked. We were doing elemental manipulation, Sasuke said. Kakashi raised an eyebrow at this and wondered why his team decided to train on a day he had off for a mission when any other team would take this day off instead. How far are you guys? Oh, and here's your 250,000 ryo each from Zabuza. He had a bounty of 1,250,000 inches. All 3 looked shocked at the money they just received, and Naruto opened his bounty book to see if Kakashi was lying. Once he flipped to Zabuza's page he realized that Kakashi wasn't lying, but if he went to Wind Country he could have got 2 million. So is my team getting anywhere in elemental manipulation? I can't get more than halfway, Naruto claimed. I can get the stem, but that's all, Sakura said. I don't know what I'm doing wrong, I'm doing what is supposed to be done, but I'm like the Dobi over there, getting only halfway, Sasuke said. How about you 3 stop elemental manipulation and find someone with your element? Naruto, tomorrow go to Asuma. Sasuke, tomorrow meet with me. And Sakura, tomorrow go to Ebisu. Kakashi said. Well, I'm leaving now. I'll tell Asuma and Ebisu to train you guys tomorrow, but you'll have to find them. Thank you sensei, Sakura and Naruto said. HN, said Sasuke. Kakashi left the 3 alone once again, and now they had something to do tomorrow. Well, since Kakashi basically told us to stop elemental manipulation, let's start jutsu training. This adds an hour to it. Naruto, you can use 25 clones instead of 10 like you said, Sasuke said. Even though Sasuke was encouraging Naruto, inside he felt jealous. He felt jealous because Naruto had all this chakra, and could last in a fight longer than him. Naruto could make hundreds of shadow clones without feeling anything, while he could only make 1 and still feel it. Even though he knew Naruto could help in fight Itachi, he still felt that he should be ahead of Naruto. Okay, Naruto created 25 clones and had them split into 5 groups. 1 group to learn the teleportation, Shunshin. 1 to perfect all his clone techniques, Shadow Clone, Shadow Shuriken, Shadow Kunai, Shadow Clone Explode. 1 to increase hand seal speed, 1 to read jutsu theory, and lastly 1 to point out the visible flaws. The groups consisted of 5, 5, 5, 5, and 4. With the last clone, the real Naruto took it to train with into the shadows. Team 7 continued this training for 2 weeks. Naruto could finally cut a leaf fully, Sasuke could make the whole leaf crinkle up, and Sakura was slower in progress but still did good, she could crumble half the leaf now. Naruto and Sasuke both got water walking down, while Sakura got leaf spinning down. Team 7 was becoming a powerful team. In 3 weeks the Chunin exams start and their whole graduating class would join, except them. Team 7 was going to do more training today but the Hokage summoned them. Team 7 present Hokage-sama, Kakashi said. It says here that your team has done at least 10 more D-rank missions than any other team, so I've decided that your team will do a C-rank mission. The Hokage looked at a small list of C-rank missions. How about this one? You are to destroy a bandit camp. The pay will be 4,000 ryo. Okay Hokage-sama, Kakashi said. Team meet me at the main gate in 30 minutes. At the main gate. Of course Kakashi-sensei would be late, Naruto sighed. Kakashi was supposed to be at the gate 2 hours ago, but knowing Kakashi he wouldn't be there for another half an hour, because he's always at least 3 hours late, unless it's a ranked or higher. Yo, Kakashi said. You're late, Sakura shouted. No he's early Sakura-chan, Naruto said. Sakura started arguing with Naruto for a while, until eventually she just gave up, and she also realized she was wasting time arguing, when they could just leave to do the mission. Okay team let's go. The bandit camp is a half-hour run away from here so we better get going, Kakashi said. Kakashi lead his team through the trees going to the bandit camp. They were 5 minutes away when Kakashi had them stop. We will walk from here, just in the small case that they have a sensor ninja with them, because usually a ninja leads the bandits. Hi sensei, all three replied. They all walked from there and Sasuke spotted a bandit. He asked Kakashi if he should kill him, or capture him and Kakashi only said to follow, because he might lead them to their camp. The team followed the one bandit, but the bandit just stopped. Be careful team, he might have sensed you. The bandit came charging at the team after Kakashi said that. Wind style. Breeze hold, Naruto shouted, but for some reason the bandit escaped the hold instantly. He's a ninja. How would you know? Sasuke asked. Only high Chunin and higher can get out of my breeze hold, Naruto replied then after seeing the bandit's face said. His name is Masamicho Hojosa he's an A-ranked missing nin from Waterfall. Good observation Naruto, I've never even heard of him, Kakashi stated. Summoning jutsu. Q, Naruto shouted and a fox double his size was summoned. May I ask who summoned me? The fox asked. I, Uzumaki Naruto, summoned you what's your name? Kuraro how may I assist you? Help us take care of that ninja over there. He pointed at Masamicho. He's an A-ranked missing nin. It'll be my pleasure, fire style. Fox flame. A flame that was shaped like a fox went flying at Masamicho. Naruto had just called, wind style, breeze hold. But before he caught him he had escaped the fox flame so Naruto's breeze hold went in vain. The bandit started to run away but stopped and said, I'll be back, then he vanished away. Naruto was about to chase after him but Kakashi stopped him. Naruto let him go. We were taken by surprise so we need to rest. This mission is now a high B-ranked mission, maybe even lower ranked. We will stay here for the night, then when the morning comes we will go looking for him. Also we will take guard shifts once night hits. Okay sensei. It was around an hour after they had their encounter with Masamicho Hojosa that they finished making a small camp for them to stay at while they slept. It was still early and night was about 20 minutes away so Kakashi sent Naruto and Sasuke to go catch some fish or anything else to eat. Naruto and Sasuke returned to the camp with 20 small fish, 1 deer, and a raccoon. Nice catch Sasuke and Naruto, I didn't expect you to get this much, I only expected at most 10 fish, Kakashi said. Well we would have caught more if the dobi over here didn't make the fish scatter and the second deer run by yelling that he fell, Sasuke said in an annoyed voice. How is it my fault that I fell after I heard something in the bushes? For all I knew it could have been Masamicho. Sasuke grunted. When you fell you said a hawk attacked you. Sakura just started thinking whether or not Naruto would attract enough bad luck to get attacked by a hawk. There was then a silence and Team 7 ate. Naruto, being Naruto, ate 9 fish most of the deer, and just a piece of the raccoon. Sasuke ate 4 fish, most of the raccoon and just 1 deer rib. Sakura only ate 2 fish, a piece of the deer, and she wouldn't even touch the raccoon saying that it's not real food. Kakashi ate the rest of the raccoon, the rest of the fish, and ate some deer. Then in the end there was still half the deer left so Kakashi decided to seal it away. Hey Kakashi-sensei, how do you do that? You take stuff and always put it on paper and it just disappears, Naruto asked interestedly. Well Naruto, this is what we, shinobi, call the sealing art. I am only proficient at it. Your chakra seals are a form of this sealing art. Edit note. It seems while originally writing this chapter I forgot that Naruto learned storage seals in Wave Sai. Sasuke was listening and he heard chakra seals and he asked, where did he come across chakra seals? I read about them once and they are said to be very rare, that only an elite sealer can create them, and you'd have to be at least a novice at Fuinjutsu to even upgrade their weights. Thank you Sasuke for saying that, but where Naruto got the weights from, when directly talked about they will be called chakra seals, when not they will be weights, sorry for any confusion here. Is up to him to tell you or not, Kakashi said then continued. As I was saying, your chakra seals are a form of this sealing art. They are very complicated and can't just be made by anyone. Seal masters are few. Konoha only has Jiraiya of the Sannin as its seal master. Why is sealing important? Naruto asked. Also Teme the Hokage gave me these as a present if you must know. Well, to most sealing is just storing stuff, which is still important because it lets it become easier to access, but sealing can do a lot of stuff, making a lot of things easier. You can carry 10 pounds and not feel it at all, or you can carry kunai and shuriken and just take them out of the scroll instead of carrying them out in the open. Kakashi explained that bit, then Sasuke interrupted. Why don't they teach us sealing in the academy? Kakashi then explained the whole reason why Fuinjutsu isn't taught at the academy, and he also explained to Naruto in more detail how it is useful. After Kakashi was done saying what he had on it, Naruto became interested in it. He had asked Kakashi to teach him, but Kakashi said the only things he could teach them would be storage scrolls and how to use explosive tags. Kakashi told them he'd teach them both of those once they got back to Konoha, because it was a skill known by most Chunin anyways. They then started guard shifts, and the rest went to sleep. In the morning, they all woke up at around 6 a.m., and Kakashi had them remove everything that they had set the prior night. Once they got everything they needed, Kakashi used a minor D-ranked fire jutsu. Fire style. Heat flare. It was only D-ranked because it only created a small normal fire that couldn't do much damage. Okay team, I want you guys to come up with how we are going to do this mission, Kakashi said. Sakura, your idea first. We can have Naruto spam shadow clones around to find the location of the base, and once he finds it he has it dispelled, then we all go to that location. Good. Now Sasuke. When we get there we should be as quiet as possible, and kill fast and silent. Edit note. I'm gonna have to eventually figure out a way to have killing affect them. It shouldn't be easy for them. Lastly Naruto. I spammed them with my Justu. Try again, Kakashi said with a sigh. I use into the shadows and infiltrate the place, kill someone then henge into them? All of Team 7's jaws dropped at that question. That was actually a perfect thing to do, and because of Naruto's jutsu it was possible and easy, and this way he could find information at the same time. When Kakashi thought about it, Naruto would be able to do high-ranked infiltration missions easier than any normal person would, because he didn't have to wait for someone to leave a place, he could just go in. Actually Naruto, that's a genius idea. So Naruto creates shadow clones to look for the camp location. Then once you find it, have it dispelled, then we all go there, kill the bandits quietly, then you go into the camp with what you said, change into a bandit, and each time you find a higher up you switch. We want you to find information as well. 5 minutes after Naruto sent out shadow clones, a clone found the location. Team 7 went to the location, but found 2 bandits guarding the camp, so Kakashi told Sasuke to make 1 clone and kill the bandits. Sasuke did so. Naruto then infiltrated the camp by using into the shadows. Kid, you should let them find your location, Kyuubi said. Shut up Fox. I promised you freedom at times, not risking myself. But if you let them find you, then you can enjoy a fight, and that Masamacho guy might show up again. Shut up, suit yourself. Naruto continued to walk around silently until he found a bandit. He quickly killed him, then he hid his body in a trash can. What? It's Naruto, and then he started walking around forgetting that he was supposed to find some intel. Naruto walked around some more, and while doing so he killed a few more bandits. He felt bad that he was killing all these people, even if they were just scum, but he knew it was for the greater good. Naruto then spotted Masamicho and he froze for a second, but since Masamicho didn't hear them he decided that he could just hear their conversation. Yes leader, we'll kill Sharingan Kakashi's team for you, but we are no match for Kakashi himself. Are you going to disobey my order and not kill the whole team? But leader, we can't. Masamicho killed him with lightning style, electric fist. Does anyone else think they can't kill the whole team? No sir, the remaining 3 bandits said. Of course my master would let his bandits do his easy work, another voice said. Once the person who said that entered the room, the 3 bandits left and were going to do their task. Zatu, I want you to go with them in case they fail. If anything they will die, but Kakashi will be worn down enough for you to kill. Naruto recognized the guy as Zatu Hondo B ranked missing nin from Iwa. Very well. Once Zatu left, Naruto knew he'd have to go inform his team, because he knew that Masamicho wasn't dumb enough to think that 3 bandits and an ex-chunin would beat Kakashi, so he would surely come afterwards. Naruto found Kakashi and the team before the bandits. Kakashi-sensei, 3 bandits and B-ranked Zatu Hondo are coming to try and kill us. Masamicho didn't say he was going to join in, but he isn't dumb enough to think an ex-chunin and 3 bandits would kill us. Smarter than we thought, a voice came from away. Fire style. Fire vortex, Sasuke shouted. Just because you know Masamicho-sama will come won't help you. Zatu said. Earth style. Earth spears, the spears hit no one. They all continued fighting for a while and the 3 bandits were killed. Sorry, I suck at fight scenes and it's 9 PM right now and I want this to still be posted Thursday, because if it's not posted today it won't be till Saturday at the least. Then Masamicho appeared. Zatu, why doesn't Kakashi look tired? Edit note. I might leave this as is, or I might come back and write out a proper fight scene, but regardless, once I start writing new chapters again, fight scenes will be better. Sorry Masamicho-sama, but I couldn't get anywhere once he revealed his Sharingan not too long ago. Very well, I'll just finish him with my best jutsu. But you'll die. You'll take over the bandits then, but it's either kill Kakashi and die alone, or all of us die, and all of this would have gone to waste. I won't disappoint you, master. Forbidden art. Fire from the hells. Kakashi's eyes widened at hearing that name. How? He asked, shocked. That jutsu disappeared 20 years ago. Well, since you'll die here anyways, I'll tell you that the creator was my grandfather. It disappeared from everyone but my father, who taught it to me. Everyone run, Kakashi yelled. Team 7 ran on cue, but it seemed pointless once the jutsu's effect worked. A hole came out of the earth and a pit of fire came about. Run faster, only one person has ever survived this technique and that was the 4th. The team ran faster than they originally did, but it seemed hopeless when suddenly they saw the technique stop. What happened? Naruto asked as he stopped. Kakashi looked around looking to see what happened, but he didn't even know. The jutsu should have lasted until it took its target, or if the target had moved far enough away from its target, and they couldn't have gotten that far yet. Kakashi then looks again and he sees Masamicho barely walking towards them. Kakashi Hitaki, I almost killed you. I am sorry, I will die soon, but please forgive me. When I used this jutsu on Minato Namikaze and he escaped, I promised him if he'd let me live I'd never kill anyone who was close to him. I forgot you were his student, Masamicho said. It's no problem? Kakashi said, not knowing what else to do. What, this guy almost kills us and you say it's no problem? Sakura yelled. I know I shouldn't be forgiven that easily, but I probably would have kept the jutsu up had I not realized you had the 4th son with you. What's he talking about, Kakashi-sensei? Sasuke asked. Our 4th never had any kids. Team, what you are about to be told right now is the village's only SSS ranked secret, Kakashi said, knowing they won't let it down. Naruto, I just need you to promise you won't overreact. Why would I overreact? The 4th has a son, so what? He's probably some snobby kid, who thinks he owns everything. Just promise. Fine, Kakashi-sensei, I promise I won't overreact when I find out who his son is. Sakura was the first one to come to a realization and she just was shocked and just stood there. Once Sasuke saw her just freeze, he realized why, and he just thought, how could the village be so blind? They are exact copies, aside from the whiskers. So, who is he? Naruto asked like an impatient little brat. Well, Naruto, look in a mirror and you'll find out, Kakashi said, knowing that the other 2 already figured it out. He hoped that hint would be enough. Well, there's no mirror here, so you're saying I have to wait till we get back to Konoha? Everyone, even the dying Masamicho, face-palmed at that statement. Stupid brat, it's you, Masamicho said, coughing up blood. Naruto took a second to take that in, Then he started thinking back at all the signs and noticed that he was actually the son of the fourth. He also realized why he was chosen to be the host of Kurama, because his father couldn't choose another parent's kid. My idol has always been my father, Naruto said in awe. Naruto, I know this is a lot to take in, but you have to focus. We need to finish the mission and destroy the bandit camp. Hitaki, no you don't, Masamicho said. My jutsu accidentally destroyed it, now please let me die honorably and kill me. Thank you, and I forgive you for sensei, Kakashi said. Then he killed Masamicho with a Chidori. Well team, let's get back to the village. You can all talk about what happened here to each other there, Kakashi said. Team 7 returned back to the village. They were all still in shock once they entered the village gates. Names please, one of the two eternal gate guards asked. Kakashi Hitaki with his team of genin. Genin team's name, Sasuke Uchiha, Sakura Haruno, and Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze. Both the gate guards just looked in awe. Can you repeat the last one? Naruto Uzu? Kakashi got cut off. It's Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze, son of the fourth Hokage, Minato Namikaze. Mother remains unknown. Now let us in so I can have a major talk with the old man, because I'm confused right now and need answers. Izumo and Katetsu just stared in awe. Go right ahead, Izumo said. Thank you, Kakashi said. Team 7 started walking towards the Hokage's office once again. They just passed by a lot of people and shops and didn't stop or say a word. The whole team knew they needed to get to the Hokage now, because Naruto never acts out and Kakashi knew they had to get there because Sasuke and Sakura never said anything. After 5 minutes of slow walking they finally arrived to the Hokage's office. Enter, the Hokage said. Yes, Hokage-sama, we have a lot to report. First off, we were at the camp. Okay old man, why the fuck did no one ever tell me that my father was the fourth fucking Hokage? Answer me that. I always looked up to you, and you always told me you didn't know who my parents were. Naruto began crying. What else have you been hiding from me? I looked up to you, why couldn't you tell me? I grew up always wondering who my parents were and if they even loved me. Now I find out from an A-ranked missing nin that my father was the fourth, the fucking person. WHO sealed the furball inside of me. The freaking nine-tailed fox. Since you're going to hide stuff like that from me, I don't want to see you again. And with that he used into the shadows and disappeared. The aged Hokage dropped his pipe and just didn't know what to say at all. Team 7 dismissed. Kakashi, you stay, we need to talk. Kakashi knew that this talk with the Hokage was going to be the worst one he's ever had to do. Okay, Kakashi, mind explaining how young Naruto knows who his father is? It's a long story. It starts with us finding the bandit camp. Kakashi then gave the Hokage the story in detail, explaining that they saw Masamicho, how he escaped and they found him again. He even brought into the detail of how Masamicho used his suicide jutsu, but in the end only stopped it because he saw the fourth and Naruto. Even in death he protects his student and his son. Hiruzen Sarutobi just looked at the picture of Minato he had on his wall, and realized how much he had done in his 24 years of living. That's sensei for you, Kakashi said. So? What are you going to do about Naruto? He seems pretty pissed off. I've never seen him that angry. He didn't even have that amount of anger when he became cloaked with the Kyuubi's chakra back in Wave. Kakashi? I honestly don't know. I failed him, and because I failed him, I failed Minato. I should have told Naruto who his parents were when he became a genin, but I decided to wait until he was jonin. Naruto even made chunin already, so it proved to me that he was growing up at an amazing pace, but it never once came to mind that I should tell him his father was Minato Namikaze, our fourth, and Kushina Uzumaki. Knowing Naruto, all he needs is time. If I may request, can we have 1 week off, because I don't think anyone on the team is ready for missions. Very well, Kakashi. The old Hokage then reaches into his desk, and gets out a sack of money. Here's 800,000 ryo for a mission success. It was supposed to only be a C ranked, but because of all that happened it's an A+ ranked mission. Oh, and Kakashi split the pay evenly. 2 are chunin now, so no more taking a majority of the pay. Yes, Hokage-sama. With Naruto. Naruto just went to his house and laid down. He wasn't in a mood to see anyone, and he wasn't going to eat even though he was hungry, because he ran out of instant ramen. All he needed was time to think. Naruto's stomach rumbled. Maybe a quick stop to Ichiraku will help a little, calm my mind. Hopefully I don't see anyone. Naruto raced out of his house and ran to get some ramen from his favorite ramen stand. He would have gotten there already had he not ran into Shikamaru by accident. He scratches the back of his head. Sorry Shikamaru, I was just on my way to Ichiraku's to get some ramen. Troublesome blonde straight face, I know you love ramen, but why would you be running full speed? I just want to get a bite after my mission. Shikamaru analyzed the situation and realized. Why would you run when you can just use into the shadows? Troublesome, I know you aren't that dumb. What's bugging you? It's nothing. Okay then let's go to Ichiraku's. Shikamaru knew something was going on, because Naruto always used into the shadows when he had a chance, and it was almost second nature to him, so if he had so much on his mind that he forgot to use it then it was something big. No, Shikamaru, it's fine, you don't have to come. I was going to get lunch at the steakhouse anyways, so why not go with you? This is exactly what Naruto had hoped wouldn't happen. He was hoping he wouldn't have to interact with anyone, but he knew Shikamaru wasn't going to budge, so he wouldn't leave without finding out. So turns out he'll have to tell someone what's happening. Fine. Ichiraku ramen. Okay, spill it, Shikamaru said right after they placed their orders and Naruto only ordered 2 bowls. Shikamaru, please don't say any of this to anyone else. I'm only telling you because I know you won't leave me be unless you find out. Troublesome, fine. Well, I am Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze, Jinchuriki of the Kyuubi no Yoko, Naruto said with a completely normal voice. Shikamaru literally fell out of his chair, then got up and sat down, and just sat there thinking. Can you repeat your family name again please? Uzumaki Namikaze. Back in the academy weren't you only Uzumaki? Troublesome? Shikamaru thought about it for a second then realized, how could the village be so blind? You are the 4th son, aren't you? Also I knew the history books in the academy were sketchy, because they said you couldn't kill a tailed beast, yet said the 4th killed the Kyuubi, the strongest of all tailed beasts. So you have the Kyuubi inside of you? Troublesome, how is that? Whoa Shika, you took all of this better than I did when I found all of this out. Also want to meet Kurama. Troublesome, I think stuff out first, Shikamaru said knowing Naruto wouldn't know he called him stupid. Then he realized Naruto asked, want to meet Kurama? Wait, who's Kurama? He then took a bite out of his ramen. Kurama is the Kyuubi. Shikamaru just spit out his ramen out at this, and the ramen went onto Ayame. Ayame hit Shikamaru in the head with a pot. Troublesome women, he said under his breath. Now Naruto. Why would I want to meet the creature that almost destroyed Konoha? Even though he was smart, he couldn't see a reason in meeting the beast itself. He knew the beast wasn't Naruto though. Because he's a furball, and I promised him freedom at times? Naruto said not knowing why Shikamaru was overreacting. You promised the Kyuubi freedom? Shikamaru yelled, and Naruto was just lucky there was no civilians around at the time, and that it was only Tuchi and Ayame who heard this. Now kid, why would you yell that when you could get mobs after Naruto for that? Tuchi asked, Naruto, what does he mean you promised the demon freedom? Ayame was just staring clueless at what was happening. Naruto scratches his head. Well, I'll show you guys, and I promise nothing bad will happen. Just promise not to tell anyone, Naruto continued when Tuchi gave him an odd eyebrow. GG knows. Okay, let me close up the shop, Tuchi then said. Naruto, you're lucky I like you, otherwise I wouldn't trust what will happen. Thanks old man. Tuchi finished closing up and asked, okay Naruto, what do you mean by giving the demon freedom? With Sasuke and Sakura at Training Ground 7. Sasuke and Sakura were just standing at the training ground thinking that they were training with the son of a Kage, and were on his team. They honestly didn't know what to think of this. The loser and doby of their class was now someone important, and all of this was because of one stupid mission gone wrong. What do you think of all of this, Sasuke? Naruto being the son of the 4th? Sakura asked. Sasuke just stood there looking to the sky as if he just realized something bigger than Naruto being the son of a Hokage who was said to have no family whatsoever. He's like me. Confused Sakura asked. What do you mean? He is from a clan that is no more, the Namikaze clan. He's alone like me, he fully understands me, and I used to think there was no one out there who would ever understand my pain, but for him it's worse. He has in him the thing that killed the last of his family. For me, I don't have to duel with the killer every day of my life, he does. Sakura didn't know what to say, she just stood there wordless. We've learned enough for today, I'm leaving. With that Sasuke left. In the Hokage's office, The Hokage just sat in his chair hoping the other villages don't get word of Naruto being a Namikaze soon, because he is still young, and won't be able to hold off against the top of the top. He had just sent out the Anbu operative cat to find Naruto, so that he can see the Namikaze mansion. It had everything that was left there from his father and mother, and the aged Hokage hoped he would find out about his mother there. The only reason the mansion has been untouched is because of Minato's experience with seals. Not even Jiraiya can get into it. And he can get into anywhere. It's a blood seal where you need Minato's blood to get in, and he hoped it worked for Naruto. The cat operative entered his office. So cat, did you get young Naruto and show him the mansion? No, Hokage-sama. I could not find Naruto anywhere around all of Konoha. I even checked his most visited places, the monument, his house, and Ichiraku's. He wasn't at any, and Ichiraku's was closed. The Hokage looked at Cat, whom was his most trusted Anbu, and best Anbu he's ever had since Kakashi as Hound. And to see Cat not find Naruto was shocking. Then he realized his last statement. What do you mean Ichiraku's is closed? They don't close for another 3 hours. The Hokage knew something was going on. Cat, follow me and bring Eagle and Wolf. We are going to Ichiraku's. The Hokage continued walking towards the ramen stand, and after a good 6-minute walk he arrived there. Okay Cat, I want you to go inside and check. Eagle, I want you to watch the entrance. Wolf, stand next to me. A few seconds later they heard the cries of Naruto. Ow. Let go of my hair, Naruto said when Cat dragged him out by his hair. Look what I found. I found him with a shadow clone shaped like the Kyuubi no Kitsune. He was also in front of 2 people who didn't know about the Kyuubi. Cat, look back, come out. With Cat saying that Ayame and her father and Shikamaru all came out. Troublesome, muttered Shikamaru. Cat, Wolf, Eagle, come inside the shop. You 4 as well, the Hokage said. We need to find out what has happened. Everyone present enters the small ramen shop. The Anbu are on guard because they notice the shadow-cloned Kyuubi is still there. Okay Naruto-kun, now that we are here, mind telling me why you summoned the Kyuubi in Konoha? Even if it's only the size of a bear cub? The Hokage asked, because he knew that if someone wrong saw that they'd freak out and start a mob, but this time it'd be mostly ninja, and he cared for Naruto. Hokage-sama called the furball by his name. I don't need him bitching inside of me once I unsummon him. Naruto said. It was very obvious that he was still pissed at the aged Hokage, Hiruzen Sarutobi, because he never called him Hokage-sama. Hokage-sama, Naruto Uzumaki has just admitted to releasing the Kyuubi. We should sentence him to death, Eagle said. Eagle-san, you are out of line, Cat said. Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze, Cat emphasized on Namikaze, is allowed to talk about the Kyuubi around anyone, and if he releases it in this form it can't harm us. Also Hokage-sama already knows about Namikaze-san being able to summon Kyuubi. I know earlier I thought it was just a shadow clone hanged, but I also know about this. Also, why do you think Hokage-sama had us bring Wolf? It's in case anything does happen. Sorry Cat Taiko, Eagle said, knowing he was out of line. He used to despise Naruto, but after he started seeing him and watching him he knew Naruto was just an ordinary kid with a beast inside of him. Eagle also trusted in the Yondaime's ceiling, but seeing the Kyuubi made him forget all of that. Okay Naruto, now that everyone knows that you can summon Kurama, can you please explain why Tucci closed his ramen stand? The Hokage asked. Anything for you Hokage-sama, Naruto said with a slight attitude. Well, after I left your office for hiding my fucking heritage, I went home. I was going to stay there for a while, but I was out of instant ramen, so I decided to make a quick stop here, to get a bowl of ramen to calm my mind. Then I was going to leave, but before I got here I bumped into Shikamaru there. Naruto continued his story, explaining everything, and every why. After Naruto finished his story, the aged Hokage said, Okay Naruto, only reason I'm not doing anything is because you were an exception to the law placed about not telling anyone about the Kyuubi. Hiruzen noticed that Naruto just looked at him because he was the Hokage, and that if he wasn't he would be ignoring him completely. Naruto, I came out here in search of you. Why? Are you going to tell me that you'll never tell me other stuff? Or are you here to attempt to make up hiding my parents from me? I grew up alone just wishing my parents loved me, but I would never know. I grew up in hate. Hokage-sama, I don't think I'll forgive you for what you did. I used to look up to you as a grandfather, and that's why I always called you Gigi. But a grandfather would never hide my parentage away from me. Everyone present just looked shocked. They all knew what he was saying was true. They all wanted to deny it but none could. In front of everyone was the true face of Naruto Uzumaki, the face he hid away, very well without anyone even noticing the slightest hint of it, for many years. Naruto was just a kid who had no one to care for him. All he needed was care and love, and those for Naruto would probably be harder than doing the impossible. Naruto, I don't expect you to ever forgive me, and I know I've wronged you too much, so take this key. Here is and handed him the key that is for Minato's mansion. This is the key to your father's mansion. Naruto, I want you to go there. We left that place untouched because I was planning on telling you everything and giving you everything once you became a Jonin. Thank you, Hokage-sama. Now if you don't mind, me and Shikamaru are going to go visit the place. Troublesome, why me? Shika asked. Very well, the Hokage said, and Naruto, I know it doesn't matter now, but I truly am sorry. With Naruto and Shikamaru after they left. Okay, where did the Hokage say this was? Naruto asked Shikamaru. They were a good 6-minute walk away from the ramen stand, and Naruto was getting frustrated. Naruto wanted to find this place now. Shikamaru just continued walking because he knew something was wrong with Naruto. It is this way, Naruto, he said. I'm actually shocked you didn't send shadow clones to find it. This is something I have to find myself, and not a copy of me. Troublesome, Shikamaru looked up and saw a place that looked different. I think this is it. Naruto's eyes widened at how huge it looked. It wasn't tall but it was long. Naruto was just thinking, moment of truth. He was actually terrified of entering. Naruto walked up to the door, and noticed that the key the Hokage gave him was no longer there. He decided to walk anyways. He noticed that as he touched the door it just opened, and realized there was a seal of some sort, then the door shut. He wished he knew more about seals. Shikamaru, what just happened? The door opened and then closed, and some sort of seal appeared. Shikamaru inspected the seal for a while. He knew next to nothing about how seals work, or what they do, but he could tell what an explosive tag and storage seal look like. He looked closer and then said, this is a type of seal most don't make anymore. It's called a blood seal. You have to have the right blood to get in. Damn it, Naruto said angrily. I come all the way here to find out if I don't have the right blood it won't open? Troublesome blonde. No, because you have the fourth blood in you, so you could access it. Remember how you summoned the KY? Kurama? Do the same but no hand seals, just put blood on the seal. Naruto did as Shikamaru told him, and bit his thumb then slammed it onto the seal. Right after Naruto did that the doors opened and both Naruto and Shikamaru were let in. Naruto just started walking leaving Shikamaru once they got inside. He was looking at how big the place really was, and how it was actually his. The first room he ended up entering turned out to be the room that was supposed to be his. It had baby stuff, like clothes and chew toys, and a baby crib, which was just a small thing that was decorated by what seemed to be an artist. He was looking around and saw a sign that said, "Welcome to your home, Naruto," and he just felt tears drop down his face. His parents went through a lot of trouble to make him, a baby who wouldn't understand anything, feel at home. He then went into another room and it was his parents' room. He looked around and saw a picture. The picture was of his father and a beautiful red-haired woman. She looked heavenly with her pale skin, her amazing red hair that seemed to stand out from anything else. He then saw another picture and it was of his father and that same woman, but that woman was pregnant. Naruto then realized that it was his mom. He just couldn't handle it and he just cried on the floor beside it. He finally got to see what his mom looked like, and he wished he could see her but he knew that would never happen. The next day, Naruto had let Shikamaru leave, then he continued looking through the mansion last night. He found a journal of his father's that he would have his shadow clones read. He also found a lot of Fuinjutsu scrolls, a training ground, and a few scrolls on jutsu and elemental manipulation. I think it's time I head to the training ground. Naruto leaves the mansion and walks toward the training ground. I know this area was short, but I just wanted to add in what happened at the beginning of the day. Also don't forget I'm a beginner writer, this is my first story. Training Ground 7. Sakura, Sasuke, and Kakashi had just arrived to the training ground. Kakashi-sensei, do you think Naruto will come today? Sakura asked. Kakashi took his head out of Icha Paradise and just looked out into the distance. He felt guilt knowing he had failed his sensei's only child. After a few minutes of staring into the distance he looks at Sakura and says, I honestly doubt he'll show up. He doesn't want to see me and I can't blame him. I failed him. Right after Kakashi said that, Naruto appeared with Into the Shadows. Proves how much you know me. Naruto gave Kakashi an angry glare. I did show up, and no, you didn't just fail me, you failed my father. Kakashi looks down, not expecting Naruto to show up, and never expecting Naruto to actually say that he failed him. I'm sorry, was all he could mutter. Naruto takes out a journal and opens a page, then he tosses it to Kakashi. Read line 5 inches. He noticed Kakashi started reading it, then said, out loud. Kakashi gulped at this, because he read the first few words and knew how this was going to end. When Naruto grows up, I want him to see Kakashi as an older brother, and Jiraiya as a grandfather. I know Kakashi and Jiraiya would both love him and care for him when I'm away on missions. Once he is born, I'll entrust him to either of them when needed. I trust my sensei and my student. Kakashi just looked in horror in how much he actually did fail Naruto. I don't know who this Jiraiya person is, but you became my sensei. Naruto put his hand out wanting the journal back and Kakashi gave it to him. He put a lot of trust in you, and you dishonored it. I also like how you use the saying, those who abandon the rules are scum, but those who abandon their comrades are below scum. Yet you couldn't even honor your dead sensei. Kakashi couldn't believe what he was hearing. He wanted this to just be a bad nightmare, but sadly he knew it wasn't. He wanted to get away, but he couldn't leave. Naruto, that's enough. You can't attack sensei like that. Sakura shouted at Naruto. Pinky, I honestly don't know why I ever had a crush on you, Naruto said. Now since you don't know what we are talking about, stop talking. You aren't worthy of being a ninja if you were a fangirl, so if you want ninjas to show that they like you, stop bitching and become a ninja. Also don't butt into what isn't your business. What me and Kakashi are talking about is between us only. Naruto was furious right now. He found out so much in just a few days and he was angry at so many people. He looked around the training field to see if anyone had anything to say, and all he saw was Kakashi face down, Sakura with a face of shock, and Sasuke just standing there with his Sharingan eyes. Naruto, I know you'll never forgive me, but can you at least accept me as your sensei? Kakashi said, we need to train. Sure, but you were right, I'll never forgive you, the Hokage, or whoever this Jiraiya is. Naruto and the rest of Team 7 continued training. Both Naruto and Sasuke learned the beginning of the rock part of their elemental manipulation, and Sakura was still only 75% of the way done with the leaf part. Today was a bad day for everyone. It has been 6 days since everything has happened. Naruto calmed down and could now see himself again. He would still remember everything, and he will take training more seriously now. Naruto hated a certain few, but wouldn't show it, and he wanted to surpass his father. Naruto started learning some Fuinjutsu. He found a few books made by his dad that were in parts on Fuinjutsu. The levels on the books went from beginner to advanced. He decided to just check the books to see if his father left any notes in them, and on the last page of Advanced Fuinjutsu, he found a note that said, to receive the Master Fuinjutsu book you must perform the seal located on here. Then it showed a seal. Naruto was in the mansion's training ground with 105 shadow clones, each spread into groups of 20, with one supervising each group. Group 1 was training on chakra control. Group 2 was training on doing jutsu with as few hand seals as possible, because he read in notes his dad left him that taking away seals from a jutsu is possible, but it takes more focus, and that it'll make it harder for enemies to tell what he will perform. Group 3 was working on elemental manipulation. Naruto could now cut half a rock. Group 4 was learning Fuinjutsu. Right now Naruto could make paper bombs in under 3 minutes, small storage seals in under 5 minutes, medium ones in around 7 minutes, and larger ones in about 15 minutes. He was going to make some and sell them for money. The last group, Group 5, was learning politics. Minato had left Naruto notes stating that being a Hokage you needed to know politics and be diplomatic. Naruto decided to leave the clones behind to do something or see someone. Okay, the 5 in charge, come here. After he said that, 5 clones came to him. I want you to replace any clone that dispel. Also I want you to tell each clone here aside from you 5 that they are to dispel themselves every 20 minutes. Sure thing, boss, they all said at the same time, then started to walk away, but the real Naruto stopped them. Wait, make sure you do it group by group, starting with chakra control ending with politics. Naruto remembered he did the same thing yesterday and all 100 dispelled at the same time. The clones nodded their heads and then went back to their groups. After they were back with their groups, Naruto left the training area then left the house. Naruto was walking in the streets, then he saw Team 8 with their sensei Kurenai Yuhi. I think it's spelled with 2 U's but I'll leave it at 1 until someone tells me otherwise. Hey Hinata, Kiba, Shino, Naruto shouted. And then Kurenai gave him a death glare. And he froze for a second then said, "Hey Kurenai-sensei." Her evil glare turned to her famous sweet smile, "Hello Naruto." All of Team 8 said at the same time, "Hey dude, hello Naruto-kun. You actually remembered me, you can all tell who's who." "What are you guys doing?" Naruto asked, because he usually never saw teams with their sensei out of training or mission. "I was taking my team out to get lunch," Kurenai said with a smile. "Wait, are you going to lunch then training, or lunch then a mission?" Kurenai had just remembered that Naruto had problems with his team from what she heard. "My team got a day off after their first C-rank mission yesterday, so I decided to treat them to lunch today since we didn't get back until last night." Naruto just looked for a while without saying anything. He was confused, he didn't know why Kurenai would just randomly treat her team out, but why? Kurenai looked at him, noticing it was hurting him that no one ever took him anywhere, because of what is in him. "They did good, so it's a little reward. Naruto, do you want to come?" Naruto lightened up a little. "Kurenai-sensei, I can't, if you are rewarding your team I couldn't come." Naruto honestly wanted to go, but after Kurenai said it was celebrating her team he just couldn't bring himself to go. "I'm sure my team won't mind," she said with a smile, "right team?" "Yes, I would not mind at all to acquaintance Naruto at our lunch." "Yeah, Naruto, we don't mind. I would like you to come Naruto." Naruto didn't know what to say, he was being accepted for the first time. He wanted to go, but still couldn't bring himself to go. He felt like he would just be going because of an invite, and he didn't do anything to earn it. "This is a lunch for your team Kurenai-sensei, I didn't do anything to deserve coming." Kurenai didn't want to leave Naruto alone, because she knew he was hurting inside. "Naruto, how about we make this a late Chunin promotion lunch?" Kiba almost choked at hearing that. Wait, the rumors of Naruto being Chunin were true? I didn't believe Ino, because he wasn't bragging about it. "Congratulations Naruto-kun." Naruto smiled. "Okay, thank you Kurenai-sensei." Kurenai told Naruto they were going to the Akamichi steakhouse, and he accepted gratefully. Team 8 and Naruto started walking to the steakhouse. They had a few talks with each other on the way there, and Hinata's stuttering started to lessen as they got closer to the steakhouse. Kiba was just shocked at how both Naruto and Sasuke already made Chunin, and he got even more shocked when Akamaru decided to ride on Naruto's head. After 10 minutes of walking they arrived at the steakhouse and entered. Choza was the one who would be waiting them. "Good afternoon, how may I serve you?" he asked. "We'd like 5 orders of steak," the ice mistress said. "Very well," Choza said as he left to go to the kitchen. Choza returned with the meat and they all started cooking it the way they wanted. Kurenai made hers well done. Kiba made his rare, Shino and Hinata made theirs medium rare, and Naruto made his medium well. As they were eating they decided to talk a little. Kurenai mentioned that her team was participating in the Chunin exams which would come in 2 weeks. Naruto liked the fact that his academy friends will get the chance to become Chunin like him. They all finished eating and Naruto took out his wallet to pay for himself, but Kurenai stopped him. Right when Kurenai told him she'd pay, Naruto fell to the floor and held his head. "Naruto, are you okay?" both Kurenai and Hinata asked. "Yeah, stupid clones, I told them to dispel group by group which they've done until now," Naruto said, still rubbing his head. "What do you mean Naruto?" Kurenai asked curiously. Naruto then explained how he has his clones train while he does normal stuff, and that it's fine because of his chakra. He explained in detail to them what he was learning and all of Team 8 were shocked, and they all now knew he was definitely Chunin material. They then said their goodbyes and Naruto made his way home. Next morning, Naruto woke up early and decided to do the training again. He went to his private training ground and made the groups of clones and specified once again that they were to dispel in groups, not all at once. After he did that he ate breakfast and was thinking of what to do for the day. He decided he'd make one clone to look at his dad's library to check for anything that would be useful, then he'd go to a movie or something. He had just realized he really never did anything that was fun except his pranks. Right when he was about to leave the mansion he saw an Anbu. How may I help you, Anbu-san? Naruto is starting to mature, and it's because he is still sorta angry. Once this blows off. If I let it blow off, cheeky smiley face, you'll have to wait to see if I do or don't. He'll return back to the normal Naruto who has no formalities. Hokage-sama requests your presence in his office right away. Very well, I'll be right there. At the Hokage Tower. Where is this last person? The creepy voice of Anko Mitarashi. We were all told to be here at 7 a.m. sharp. The people that were in the Hokage Tower were Anko, Ibiki Morino, some nameless Chunin, Hayate Gecko, and Genma Shiranui. Patience Anko, this last person was not informed until this morning, and it seems my Anbu didn't tell him what time to show up at, the Hokage said, smoking his pipe. Hokage-sama, I thought a person who still has at least one genin can't help with the exams, so why is Kakashi coming? Genma asked, thinking it was Kakashi coming. The Hokage gave a small chuckle and then said, it's not Kakashi, Genma, it's someone else, and he'll be here soon. Right after he said that, Naruto appeared and right away said, what do you need me for? Everyone knew something was wrong, because Naruto seemed ticked off. Naruto then looked around and saw other people there. Is this a mission? We were waiting on a little brat? Ibiki asked. How's a runt like him going to help? Anko asked. Okay Naruto-kun, I need you to help set up the Chunin exams. Ibiki, yes, we were waiting on young Naruto. And Anko, you've seen his pranks, right? The Hokage replied to all. Why me? Naruto asked. Well, because you were the best candidate to booby trap the Forest of Death, so it's more dangerous but remains as deadly as it currently is. The Hokage then told everyone of what they would be doing, Ibiki proctoring the first part of the exams, and the random Chunin there as help to spot people out, Anko and Naruto to make the Forest of Death more dangerous and to proctor the second part of the exam. Lastly, Hayate being the main proctor of the last part of the exam, and if for some reason he can't, then Genma takes his place. The Hokage also gave some extra details and told them they were to start right away with preparing. They all left and Anko left with Naruto to the Forest of Death. At the Forest of Death. Edit note. I see I left a note in this next paragraph saying I didn't research. Well, I'll tell you guys, I am going to be looking up stuff in future chapters, just for accuracy, unless of course something I've done in here is the reason for a change. Okay squirt, there's entrances all around this forest, and they are all marked here. There's 50 entrances in total. I don't do much research when writing, so if I'm wrong here please don't bug me saying I'm wrong. All I really search is last names cause I can never remember those. Each entrance leads to a different area of the forest. I'll give you this map. Anko shows him a map. It contains what's at each door so you're prepared when you go in. Because we can't be in the same area at once, this needs to be done in 1 week and each area will take a while. Also, I have one rule for you, you can look but you can't touch. Anko then leaned forward exposing some cleavage and Naruto turned lobster red. Naruto recovered from the embarrassment and said, okay, let's get to work, I'll just make a clone to have all the clones at the mansion dismiss. Naruto then makes a clone and had it dispel. Then after 2 minutes all of his clones had been dispelled. Naruto then made 49 clones and said, go to gates 1 to 3 and 5 to 50, make clones as needed and let's use seals here to make it more interesting. Anko was shocked at what Naruto did. She heard the rumors that the kid could create a lot of clones, but making 49 clones and telling them to make clones is unbelievable. She was honestly going to like messing around with him. Well, I'll go to gate 4. I actually want to see these tigers. He picked this gate because it was the biggest area, and he could summon a lot of foxes to help him out. Also, he knew that if anything happened he had his summons to help. Naruto walked up to gate 4 and entered, and right when he entered he was greeted by a tiger. He stared at the tiger and said nervously, nice kitty. You don't want to eat me? Naruto looked and saw that it seemed the tiger wanted him to follow it. He followed the tiger for a good 20 minutes and noticed he was in a place that looked amazing and indescribable. There were at least 30 tigers and they all had their own dens embedded in a massive tree. He noticed one of the things was bigger than any other and the tiger that led him to this place was looking at it. Come forward, human who reeks of fox, a massive tiger said. It looked terrifying, it had a scar on its face and its claws looked sharper than a normal tiger's, yet its fur looked cooler. Ah wah, what? Naruto said in shock. Ho. How are you talking? The tiger looked annoyed. You're the first human I let to this place since that Hashirama fella, and you can't even respect me? I am from a parallel dimension, and we, from parallel dimensions, rarely let humans see our presence. Naruto straightened up, but was still in fear. Why would you meet with me if you haven't met with a human since Hashi? Wait, you knew the first Hokage? The tiger leapt at Naruto, forcing him to take a step back. All I want to know is why you smell of fox. A slight stench of animal is fine, but you reek of it. Naruto knew he had better answer honestly, so he said, I am Naruto Uzumaki, Jinchuriki of Kurama the Nine-Tailed Fox. Power of human sacrifice? And you know his name? It seems you are interesting after all.
That's all for now. If you enjoy this video, then please like, share and do comments.